I'm gonna guess you're tired of searching what causes check hybrid system and seeing all the horror stories that everybody's going through. You probably found something to the effect of it could be a blown fuse all the way to, oh my god, my engine's blown up. Either way, it blows. Gotta laugh, or it starts to hurt. Let me give you some good news, or honestly, maybe even some bad news, while we fixed one of the most common ones. This guy. Okay, so to do a water pump on this guy, it's not that hard, and you shouldn't be overly intimidated. There seems to be a lot of things happening here, but it's really not that complicated. Our water pump is located basically directly under here in front of our dipstick. Some pretty basic tools. 12mm ratcheting wrenches if you have them, or if you can get them, a 10mm, a ratchet, an extension, and a 10 and 12. So the first thing that we need to get out of the way is the airbox. I'm missing a couple screws, but that's all right. We got one here, which is 10mm. Toss this somewhere where I'll lose them in a little bit. There's one usually here, and there's one underneath the cover that literally just pulls off like that. Oh wait, there's more. This. Flip this dude up, take your filter out. Always a good idea if you need to, maybe switch your filter now. But there are two hiding in here. One, two. And I usually throw those in there so I don't forget them. After you loosen this and set that out of the way, it doesn't need to come out. This has a hose running across the top, which just goes right here. This whole unit comes out. Here's the pump. It's actually really easy to get to. You have one single plug. That's it. Oh, I just ripped the dipstick out. That's all right. I can put it back in just a minute. And now it's just 5 bolts. So 1, 2, 3 is a little hidden, 4, and 5 right here. One of them is pretty easy to access from the passenger side tire. You can get to all of them technically from up here. These are the 12mm. Maybe. Okay. Man, that shouldn't have been that tight. I only put water in this car right now because I was flushing the radiator. But if you have coolant in your car, just know that you are going to make a little bit of a mess, so put something underneath you. Okay, the last one is right here. Right there. Before you go crazy and taking all these out and forgetting where they go, just know that the one closest to the front here on top is a shorter bolt. The one underneath the wheel, or down there by the wheel, is also a shorter bolt. This one, which I guess it's going back towards the cabin of the car, on top, is a little longer, which makes sense if you look to where it goes into. It goes into this boss right here. It's right there. So just don't forget, and don't try to put a really long bolt into a short hole. That's probably not a good idea. Now it's just a matter of pulling the pump out, which will make the mess, and up. Alright, there we go. Here's the old one, here's the new one. Looks pretty similar. Looks like there's some just crusty, nasty stuff. That may be why it failed. I'm not quite sure. This is an ASIN OEM Toyota one. You might find them that say ASIN and Toyota's scratched out. That's because ASIN just sells them separately and they're significantly cheaper. You can get them on Amazon. This one, ooh, look at that. Oh, it's wet on the inside. That's probably what happened. It failed internally. This is the new one. Definitely off-brand, super cheap. I think it was like 70 bucks. So I noticed some of the crustiness that you may have seen. So I ran a hose on the inlet to the pump, which would be right here. This is the thermostat. And while you're here, you might as well replace your thermostat, especially if you use something like Blue Devil. And if you use something like Blue Devil because of a head gasket issue, definitely rinse everything. Get your coolant reservoir, rinse out your radiator, run a hose for 30, 45 minutes. Use an actual radiator cooling system cleaner. That stuff's no good, and it's really, really no good for something like an electrical water pump. So this goes back in pretty simply. Obviously the plug end goes up. You want to be at least pretty gentle here because you do have the end of the shaft that can get damaged, I guess. if you're really rough on it. There we go. And I'm not gonna tighten these bolts down, but I am gonna start them. Remember, the short bolt on top here towards the front of the car, closest to the front. Remember, this goes through to the boss. Another short one, which is the front also, and down at the bottom. Lastly, this one, which is kind of hidden, but it's back here. Now all I'm gonna do is just run these down just snug. That's it. I'm not gonna go any further, okay? I'd like to tell you that this next step isn't all that important, but why this is kind of important is because of how it compresses the gasket. Get a $20, $30 torque wrench, nothing special, preferably something smaller than this. And what you're gonna do is tighten all 5 bolts to 7 foot-pounds first. And after that, the 2 long bolts, 19, and all of the small bolts, the little ones that we took out, are 15 foot-pounds. Done. So now we just undo what we did. Or redo what we undid. Whatever way you look at it, we gotta put the pieces back together. That way we can put some more water in it and see if it runs. Fingers crossed. It's running, codes are cleared. I'm gonna be a little extra. I'm gonna open the petcock to the radiator, which is, right just down here on the driver's side. I'm gonna open it up while I fill it up, let it run through, just in case there's an air pocket. Oh, there we go. Like I said, I'm only running water, so it's not a big deal. These systems are supposed to be self-bleeding, but honestly, I've never had great luck with it, so I'm gonna feed it while the petcock is open, and we'll just do this for 10 minutes while the car's running, just to be sure.